So I'll never forget him walking in the door and looking at me and saying, I think I might be going crazy. It was funny because I just watched him pull up into the parking lot. Stepping out of his car, he was struggling to carry these boxes that were full of books. When he sat down and he looked at me, he said, can you please help me? So here's the thing that was super interesting about it, right? Is that this guy was a super successful attorney. He built his entire life off of logic, off of reason and facts. But these books had nothing to do with logic, reason, or facts. They actually had to do with spirituality, personal growth. Those things had never been on his radar at all. In fact, he wasn't even sure if he believed in God. And yet something had changed. 6 months earlier, he randomly picked up a book on personal growth, and then another, and then another, and then another. And before too long, he was reading a book every single week, completely captivated by the ideas in the books he was reading. And that's when he finally looked at me and said something that I'll never forget. He said, I don't even know who I am anymore. And it might be the best thing that's ever happened to me. What was really funny, and I had to laugh, is because I'd probably read about 80% of the books that he had in those boxes. But it took me my entire life. He had done it in 6 months. And yet he was feeling like his entire universe was collapsing in on him. And his life was turned upside down. So I finally looked at him and I said, listen, you're not going crazy. You're having a spiritual awakening. And his soul was ready to live like he had never lived before. And then I told him, the bottom line is he's being called to let go of the old version of him, the one that was built on achievement, logic, and control. And he needed space to let the new version of him start to emerge. And what he needed to do was to simply keep following those nudges of the different books and the different things he was starting to explore. In other words, just keep trusting what felt right. And most importantly, quit trying to fix what isn't broken. There was nothing wrong. So over the next few months, we kept meeting, and I watched some pretty incredible things happen. He completely changed his life. A man who once operated completely from his head was actually now starting to make decisions from his heart. The man who never had time for self-reflection, believe it or not, was now meditating and journaling daily. The man who once measured success by wins and numbers was now measuring it by peace and by purpose. He eventually wound up leaving his old self behind and fully stepped into this new life that actually felt aligned, real, and fulfilling. If you're feeling like this, if you feel like you're questioning everything, if the things that once made sense no longer fit you, if you're feeling pulled towards something even deeper, but you don't understand why, you're not lost. You're just waking up. And that is not something to be afraid of, but embrace. Just understand that a spiritual awakening is not something that you figure out. It's something that you allow, and you don't have to go through it alone. If you're feeling that shift and you don't know what's next, let's talk. For a limited time, I am offering a deeply discounted coaching session. Let me help you figure out exactly what's going on and exactly what you need to do to move forward in your life. Click the link below and let's change this together.